right? And you can see that we're starting to get trend spark trying to flip, right? So after this last leg up, and I do this on a 700 tick chart, we're starting to get some magenta dots, and that starts to indicate turning. So right around 51.84, 51.83 and 3/4 would be a nice retrace to get in. Again, I want to be clear, I could very easily get scalped out or stopped out, but I want to talk about, and I'm just looking for the retrace to these gray dots to try and get in. If you really want it, you could just short it here. Or if you want to be more careful, you could wait for a break kind of below these lows, but a wider stop. So I'm just doing one contract here right now. Now, let's bump it to a 2 contract. Again, up at 83 3/4, and they're running away from me. Again, I can chase it if it really signals some downside, but I'm showing you how I implement this scalping, right? And then we can talk about how it fits into the larger way that I'm managing positions in this choppy environment where we don't know exactly what's going on. So I am short now. So the first thing that I want to do, scalping, right, is I want to come in and kind of get out of half reasonably soon if we come back down. Now that may be a non-issue because we're heading back up towards these magenta dots pretty quickly. And if we close above them and stay above them for a sustained basis, then I'm going to cut this thing loose, right? But the other thing that I want to do is, if we can get a move to the downside, I want to take a little profit and put it in my pocket to pay for risk. So I'm just gonna put a limit order at 51.80 1/4, and if we can get down there pretty quickly, right, then I've got profit on half, and I can set a break-even stop on the remainder, and that lets me manage my risk. And I may raise that limit really quickly and just lock this up at 51.81 half. Let's see if I can get it there. Oh, I was a little late. All right. Okay. So I'm out of half at 51.81 half. Right. So I made 9 ticks on half, and now I'm just going to set a break-even stop. Remember, my entry was at 83 3/4 on the ES futures, and now this either keeps going or it doesn't. Right, so that's how I scalp, right? And the ingredients that went into that, right? Let's move some of these out of the way. We'll bring them back in. First of all, right, is we were at a fib cluster where potentially resistance might come in, and then we had trend spark start to turn, right? And if I bring trend spark over, right, just wait for it to turn. And the way I learned this from Neil, right, you let it turn, you get 2 magenta dots to the downside, You wait for it to retrace into these gray dots in the middle, and that's where you leave your order to get in. Right, and that's a great way to try and get a good defensible price. You don't always get the bounce. So so aggressive traders may want to just say get in, but right now we're in a spot where if this is left looking like a three-wave bounce, then it does argue for lower. I don't know for sure that it is, because that would depend on whether this is a trend move. But now I've got no remaining risk on the idea. And as I mentioned, this is a tricky spot where if we come in, there are a whole bunch of possibilities. So all I want to do is come in here, and if we're heading down materially lower, well, I want to have my long book hedged off, and having those short futures positions will help me on the way down. We have broken the low of the day, and you can see how that scalping got us in at the right spot. I picked the spot to take a try based on what it's shown me so far. So I hope you found that useful. I have no idea what's coming next.